All right, we are here. Let's go do this. All right. There's nobody out here. We'll just cut this one to get inside. Good enough. Let's go do it. Office hours at the police department. Let's go. Hello.
What can I do for you?
Hi, I just have to provide some, I guess, evidence for a case or something, I suppose.
Okay.
There was basically, I was at a business and they, I was addressing like a concern as a customer and then the police showed up and trespassed me.
Oh, God.
And I was filming at the time, so I have the whole thing, so I think it's pretty, and then, I got the body cams and the 911 call,
Okay,
and they're
you got
like,
the records request already?
yeah, so I did all the records requests, and they were like, I told him to leave multiple times, or he definitely says I told him to leave, both to the officer that showed up when he did the 911 call, and I went back and I like watched it a bunch, and was like,
This is weird.
nobody ever asked me to leave. He asked me to stop recording. Because at that point, there was like, I guess apparently miscommunication about a telephone call, because I thought that they were going to reimburse me for the oil change
Okay.
that they had made a mistake on, and so I went to go like talk to him about it, and I was like, well, if I had recorded the phone call, I wouldn't be in this situation right now, because then I would have exactly...
You want to have an officer review it or have a link to upload it to the officers?
Either way, I've got a case number.
Yeah, perfect.
And then I have, a file, so I was thinking there's probably... I assume people have better things to do with their time than sit here together and watch it, so I'm happy to upload it.
Yeah, we usually only have two guys on duty at a time.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be like, sit down and watch a video that I made, because I think I sped up the part where I was in the office, and you can even, I didn't put like the 911 call and stuff. I figure that you guys have
that was
enough information. You can like pull that and everything. Sorry, it's warmer in here than it is out there. It is 2401524.
Okay.
And that's like all the info if you want. That doesn't go under.
No, they didn't give me a slide through.
Yeah, it's like I can't quite tell.
Okay, so then I can look that up. You know what, Officer Hollaby?
Is it Hamabi?
Hollaby.
There we go. Okay.
Or Greenspan.
I was talking to. Yeah, Halabi is the one that gave me the notice.
Okay.
Like, it doesn't really. It's not like I'm gonna go back there, but I just feel like for the like accuracy and the contents and like the fact that it's there, I was gonna go. Small claims court seems kind of petty, and this at least is like I feel like the most like direct route to have like a person of authority review it and make a determination.
Yeah.
Because given the 911 call, I don't necessarily like. They came up and they were like, you have to leave or we'll arrest you. And if somebody said that they had asked somebody to leave multiple times,
then they responded.
they probably were like, hey, leave or we'll arrest you. So I see how it all happens.
But you only get that one little bit of...
Yeah, and given that they were set up that way, but I guess if people want to provide false information, then it's a good thing for cameras, because...
Yeah, well, let me see here.
Went home and told my wife, and she thought I was like, it had been like a raving lunatic, and I was like, watch this, and like put it on, and it was like, and she's like, okay, you're like not being unreasonable.
So 911 seemed a little excessive.
Well, he could have said leave, and then I would, if they were like, you're on private property, you have to leave, and I would have been like, fine, and stamped my feet. But he actually didn't even tell me he was calling the police. Because I thought, I was like, you can call corporate, because corporate had refunded me on the mechanics bill, because I took it to a mechanic. So I thought that corporate was refunding me for the mechanic, and then that Jiffy Lube or whatever would refund me for the oil change. And so I went to go talk to him, because I was like, well, if we already had a miscommunication on the phone, let's go chat with him. And so I was chatting with him, and he was like, no, I told you that da-da-da-da. I was like, really? That's like... come on, and I was like, you can call corporate and talk to them about it if you want to. And he's like, well, you can't record. And I was like, well, given where we are, I'm gonna record, so.
Now you're probably grateful for.
Yeah, no, exactly. I was like, I think I said you can call the police, but it was like about the recording.
No, this is like one of those offices too, where it's like it's sent out when you get hired. Like people are allowed to record in here. This is a public space.
Yeah, this is a public one.
Like,
I get that that's like a private one. That's why I was like, and then, you know, I was like, okay, because I'm usually doing like, you know, paddleboarding, like stuff out there. But then since you can request all these public records, and I'm like, okay, this is super easy. Like, hey, there's a second shot. They're like, okay, perfect. I was telling my wife, I was like, I can't afford like a film set, but if it's already there, you can do it in public spaces. And then you're like, second camera, like you just have like one for audio. And they have a camera at Jiffy Lube. So I don't know if they have audio or not, but they are absolutely able to corroborate any of this. So it's not like I'm the only evidence. I don't know what they have, but...
Yeah, so I don't think they're doing anything by way of like pressing charges.
No, I'm sure they're not. I talked to...
Like trespass warning, end of...
And I talked to... He said that it's not even like in the records, because I was like, well, you know, I don't want to get like background checks popping it up or the school or anything like that. And he's like, no, it just goes into like an internal. And so...
Yeah, it's just a filing system.
You know, but if I didn't come and do something or didn't say something, then I would just be like, okay, unjust, sure, I'll take it.
Yep.
And I can't really do that. And
what this will be is your statement and video that gets attached to the incident, which is then, if it doesn't go anywhere else, great, it's just an incident, it's in our system.
Yeah, I mean, I would think somebody would review, because I would want, like, I don't know, I would just think somebody with authority would review it, because if it just goes into a file, then I guess I'll do small claims court so I can stand in front of a judge and say...
So, are you,
I think that he just should have finished the conversation.
Yeah.
Like, I was in the office, and he was like, that's not what I said, and stop recording. And I was like, really? Like, you can call corporate or something. And then he basically picked up the phone, didn't say anything else, just walked away. There was another employee outside, because I was like in the office, and then went to go and kind of be like, hey, because I was like, if you're calling the police, like, you know, it's like, hey, talk to me. So I walked up, it's even in the 911 call, and I was like, hey, I'm talking to you, you know, because it's like, because he literally just walked away while I was talking. And so I was like, hey, I'm talking to you. And he walks away, and another employee comes up and is like, the only reason that you're not getting the refund is because you're recording. And I'm like, so if you stop recording, then you'll get the refund. And I was like, really? If I stop recording, I'll get the refund? And I'm like, yes. So I click the camera off and it goes off. And then he's like, okay, go back in the office and I'll go talk to him. So I go back in the office and I'm sitting there and I'm hanging out. This is all in the video too. I like time lapse it, because so you see that I'm in the office just like
waiting, yeah.
Like time lapse for like probably 5 minutes or something. And then I'm kind of like, wait a minute. He's on the phone, like you start putting the pieces together. And I went out, and as I go out, then the police are like right there, and I'm even on video being like, I told you that you were tricking me, or something. Because even while I was waiting, I had gone out, and the only piece that isn't on video, I had like gone out to kind of poke around, and the guy that said I would get refunded got all like offended, and he was like, how dare you say that I'm not like, that I'm a liar? I'm like, well, I'm not sure yet. I'm not saying you're a liar, but I'm saying it's been a minute. I'm starting to get worried. Yeah. You being a liar is determined by whether or not like the jury's out right now, because like I'm in the middle of it. So if the police show up, you're a liar, and if they don't show up and I get my refund, then you're clearly not. But I've been in there for a couple minutes, and I'm starting to ask questions. And so it's like, go back in the office, to, you know, paraphrasing, but it's basically like, go back and wait. And I'm like, all right, sorry for offending you. If you're truly doing like what you said you were going to do, then I'm sorry for being impatient. My apologies. And went back inside. And then the police show up like a minute or two later. And I'm like,
and so no refund.
Of course, which I think we're kind of past, because somebody, I mean, you know, as you talk, that's the other thing, because then you've got it, and so I'm able to like get like objective feedback, and like I had a different impression of myself too, because you're like, I assumed I was louder, but apparently because, I don't know, I mean, I was very appropriate for whatever reason.
Because you felt like elevated blood pressure probably.
Yeah, and you're like, and then the police show up, I had to be removed from the property. They must have told me I had to leave, and I just didn't hear it because I had like tunnel vision or something, and then you go back and you're like, everything's on there. Everything's on there. The only person that said anything about police or trespassing was me. And I can't, like, tell them that they have to, you know, you can call the police if you want me to stop recording. They'll tell you the same thing. I'm allowed to record. Because that's not the issue at hand. You can tell me to get off your property. Yeah. And I'll respect that as a citizen and as a business owner. I'm not an idiot. I know how stuff works. But there's a very clear like activation of rights or something of like, you need to leave the property. They don't have to call me sir, but there has to be some sort of like directive, like you have to remove yourself from our property. Maybe even, or I'm calling the police, or like, there's a lot of like, sir, if you don't leave, I'll call the police, is a fairly standard, you know, and then you're like, okie dokie, because then I'll be trespassed. And so, you know, again, I mean, I'm not going to go back there, but I would like to have it. I feel like the process is then I give them the evidence, they review it, they're like, oh, this is a false report. Maybe they press charges over there, but basically it goes down the false report. And then because there's a false report that's shown to be valid or charged or convicted, whatever the terminology is, theoretically that would negate the trespass charge. Or if not, they could be like, whoa, 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 I screwed up. I didn't realize either. Good learning opportunity for everybody. Because I'm not trying to like drag them through the mud.
All right. So
but between talking to them again, filing charges here, or providing evidence here rather, and going to small claims court, it seems like this is the most reasonable course of action at this time.
Yeah, I think so. So as far as the media goes, it's all on your...
I have it on computer because I do like YouTube stuff. I just have like I've got the files and things like that.
All right, so...
And so I've got it in a format that I can upload.
What is your phone number?
And you want an email?
Yeah, I was just thinking, I feel like usually the officer emails a link that you then...
That's what I'm thinking. I've been doing public records requests. Yeah.
Uploads to that specific link because it keeps it secure, which I don't have, but I can have an officer get to you.
Yeah.
So what is your email?
Is...
And that's a number?
Yep.
Like that?
Yep, exactly. Yep. At Gmail.
All right, and since I have in the office, I'm just gonna go ahead and shoot him back all of your information and just have him email you that link.
Yeah, that's totally fine.
Easiest way to do it if you don't need to speak to an officer.
No, I don't need to, like, he's actually, if I could email it to him or whatever, get the link to him, that's great. Because I know that I'm not trying to correct, like, a personal record, and I talk to him and whatever. I'm sure he thinks I'm as good of a guy as he needs to. But certainly seeing evidence to the contrary of what you've already been told is, I mean, we're all human.
Well, and nobody likes to feel like...
I wasn't gonna... Yeah. Like, you just
get it all the time.
And I think it's a good like recommendation because there's somebody that, there we go, thank you, is like knows enough about the law and like has the resources mainly in time because I'm on the way to pick up my kid from school, so I've got like an extra half hour here. You're like, oh, and then I'll film it. Now it's like a developing story because I mean I was in there and I was like, I mean, I guess it's going to be like Consumer Reports because at this point, like I thought I was just like going to do like a funny video, you know, or something like with the song because like now I have to learn how to change my own oil and it wasn't going to be like bashing them or anything.
My God, my husband does buy oil and last time he drained my transmission fluid instead.
Oh wow, well these are all things I'm probably going to do. I'm going to have a buddy help me out with it.
We're now having the car towed, we're going to have it repaired. And it's like,
yeah, see? Well, apparently it's no better if you take it to a shop and then it's at least like your own because we had to have it towed in and stuff like that. And
so it happens. Okay, well I will definitely, I'm just going to let Jay know what's going on. And then you have his card as well. If you don't hear from him, just reach out to him directly as well. But you should.
Yeah, I won't. I'll try not to bug him and stuff. He's going to be like, oh God, this again.
They get it all the time where it's just like, you know, we only get the snapshot from what they tell a dispatcher forward.
Yeah.
Get all the like behind.
Yeah, exactly. It's a rare opportunity to see, you know, and I guess, I mean, in his benefit, I mean, he definitely like did exemplary and learned a lot, you know. I mean, I learned a lot for sure, you know, because I've been watching stuff on YouTube and everything. So he showed up and I was like, name and badge number. He's like, well, I don't have to, but here it is. And so you're like, no, it's actually not a law. I did not know that.
To introduce that way?
Yeah, you don't have to. People, there's like a bunch, I mean, people think that you like have to introduce yourself. And it's a policy that's in like some departments' policies, but it's actually not a law. It's like one of those weird,
I feel like
interesting misconceptions.
Your badge number, but you might not have to say what your badge number is.
Yeah, that's probably, you probably have to be wearing identifying stuff because you're like a law enforcement officer or something. But everybody assumes that you have to like when asked, and there's like people that are like total jerks about it that'll like hassle police and just.
If you're a police officer, no, they don't.
Yeah, no, they can totally lie. They can't arrest you for insulting. There's like some like Supreme Court, so there's like a whole thing of stuff where people go out and just like insult police, and it's like, I guess it's protected. I'm not. It's
speech until it like changes over to actually like
to like
violence.
harassment or something. You would think, but apparently there's like a different. I don't know. I just know it's like ridiculous, and you're like
You know what I learned is that we always say assault and battery.
Yeah.
Apparently, battery is the act of actually hitting someone. But assault is just threatening. Like, if I were to wind up like I'm going to hit you, I've already assaulted you.
Oh, huh. Exactly.
So
that's like making threats and things like that, or assault. Yeah, exactly. Huh.
Like before, if I missed you, but I tried to hit you, then I would have assaulted you.
Yeah, exactly. And like somebody's property, there's all this stuff where people like grab a camera, and then it's like that's battery because it's like you,
'cause you made that
or your property.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, huh.
Yeah.
This is super interesting.
So I've learned a lot.
Yeah, so I was like watching it, and then I went and I was like, well, I'll just carry the camera because this way it's like an objective, I'm just in the habit of like, you film the kids all the time, you film paddleboarding all the time. And so I just kind of had it with me. And then it just like escalated. And then you watch the body camera footage, and I mean, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Because people have like, he was thinking I was going to put him on like a reality show or something, and it's like, I don't know. I mean, it's the assumptions that people make, I guess. But he just straight shut down and just walked away and was done. And I was like, general manager of a business, you can't just like, you have to at least be like, sir, you're not getting a refund.
Yeah.
Now leave.
Or, I mean, just be able to just say, we're not going to handle that here at this time.
Yeah, or like I said, no, you can sue me if you want to. Like, take me to court. Yeah. And then I'd be like, well, for $100, it's not exactly worth taking you to court.
Yeah, the number of hours it would take.
Stamp. But then when they like have, law enforcement and like a bunch of people, and you're like, wait a minute. This is not the reputation I have. This is not how it's supposed to be. If I was going to be a jerk, I'd go elsewhere to be a jerk. I wouldn't do it here.
In the middle of the day getting an oil change?
Yeah, I mean, well, I don't know. I definitely wasn't going back there, and it's not like I was being sweet to them in the first place. But I wasn't being mean.
Yeah, I was. You weren't being like insulting to an individual.
I wasn't even being insulting. I was probably just being demanding. I think the trespass says like aggressive or something, which I was definitely aggressively trying to get my concerns addressed, because I was like, I mean, at first I wasn't, because at first I was like, hey, I think it's a misunderstanding. I think somebody didn't hit the button. And then when he walked away, then I was like, talk to me. What are you doing? And then when he was like, then when the police showed up after he told me that I was getting my refund, I was like, okay. I think I may have yelled, you lied to me, possibly, because I mean, I'm going to say that was justified. So,
I've gone through it, but I will definitely have the officer.
We all could improve, but I didn't provide any incorrect information or anything non-factual. And I think it's a pretty clear black and white. So no worries, no rush. I'm not going to like call tomorrow and bug him or anything. And I don't want to even put it on his radar. I know.
I will reach out, and as long as...
But this is the end of it. It's like the resolution and then the last chapter. And since like I started with this whole thing being recorded, I might as well end with the whole thing being recorded. So... probably the end. In theory, the rest I should be able to get from records requests.
Perfect.
Or something. We'll see. One day at a time. Have a good one. You too. All right.
If you liked it, please don't forget to subscribe below.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.